kind of sit back and say, why can't they just give me one cert that covers that? But for some reason, they said, no, entrepreneurs, you're going to have to go through a maze. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. No problem. We'll just dig over here and we dig over there. But if you still don't understand it, then you really need to get someone who's going to walk you through it and tell you some of the ins and outs, because just getting your certifications is not the only thing. Once you get them, what are you going to do with them?
Hi, everyone. Have you gotten your small business certified? Our guest today, Franchette Dyer, owner of Vetech, shares her experience in the steps to getting your small business certified and the benefits and recognition that you'll receive for taking the time to make this happen. Welcome to the 15-ish minute coffee chat live streaming podcast with Anna and Selena. This is 9 seasons of helping entrepreneurs and small business owners build more profitable businesses.
Hey, everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
We're so
Welcome,
excited to be
season
back
9.
here. Yeah, I know, season 9.
Yeah.
So just in case
Yes.
you can't tell, Selena is on vacation. Do you see her there lounging on her little patio out in Tennessee at this moment?
Yes, guys, I'm in Gatlinburg, and I laughed when Anna and we'd done all of our episodes for the show, and then a last minute visit to my in-laws in South Carolina. I was like, oh my gosh, it's on the first show, but I don't want to move it. And we're like, we're going to make it work. This is the life of an entrepreneur and somebody that can run their own business. Is now I'm doing it. Like somewhere over there is that thing. I don't know. You go up there and you look at all the Smoky Mountains here in Gatlinburg, and I'm not even going to tell you. I am going to tell you. I am going to tell you what I did yesterday. I went up a ski lift in a gondola and was so scared. Good morning. Hi, Paul. He's somewhere around here shopping. He said it was better that I don't go with them and we'll save money. That's my husband. But I went up on the gondola, up a ski lift, and it was so scary. And I was like clutching with my mother-in-law. And then we get to the top and we're like, yeah, they have this tree. Like it's a famous tree bridge thing. And then I was scared. My anxiety level was like to the umpteenth. Anyway. So
did you go across the tree bridge thing? Did you go across it?
I had to, because when I started, there was a no turning back rule apparently, and I was like, and then I thought it was gonna hurt a little child behind me that was like, I'm gonna jump on the bridge that shakes. So I'm all like, oh. And my husband actually catches me in a video saying, "Excuse me, little boy, please don't jump. It makes me very nervous." It's like, oh, lady, get out of the way. Anyway, okay,
we'll be sharing that next
and not
week.
about Gatlinburg. Yeah. I'll share the video when I can. But okay, it is not about me. It is about like an amazing topic today. Which, Anna, what is our call to action? What do we want to ask people?
Well, our call to action today really is: have you gotten your small business certified, right? So this is like a big question. And if there's one thing that you should be looking into this year that you have not done, it really is certifications that you might qualify for, that you're eligible for, that can build your business, both profitability, recognition, expertise. I mean, all the things. And so Franchette is an expert in this, and I'm so excited to have her on because I am not an expert in this, right?
Yes, no, totally. We were just telling Franchette in the back, we were talking about dogs and small business certifications, but I was just excited. We were excited when we went to her website and saw that this is a service she provides. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because I just got my first certification, and it's exciting. So I'm excited to talk more about that. But let's bring up her bio. They're like, who is Franchette? Who are we talking about today? So that would be, that's me. Let me bring her bio up. You're like, Selena, that's you, girl. That's you. Okay, ready? Let's bring this bad boy up. Okay. All right. You guys, I'm sorry. Vacation brain. I just came back from Vegas before we jumped on another plane to come here to South Carolina. And then we drove up to Tennessee. My brain does not know where I am, what day it is. Okay, this lovely human being, Franchette Dyer, is an Army military spouse and founder of Vetech Business Services LLC, a woman-owned small business. As a military spouse, Franchetta partners with senior officers and enlisted families and individuals to grow their personal and professional careers. She holds an MBA and an MSM in Business Administration and Management. After spending 20 plus years working with the U.S. Army overseas in various countries, Franchetta knows what drives Fortune 500 companies to hire veterans, military spouses, and family members. There's so much more. There's good. I just want to bring her on. Should we just bring her on?
Yes, let's go ahead and bring her on. I'm going to pop Franchetta in. We're going to remove that and bring her in.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yep. Welcome to the show. Are you excited to talk about small business accreditations?
Yes, I'm very excited about it. Yeah. I was up early this morning. Okay, dressed early. Let me just say it. Dressed and made up early.
Yes, I love it.
I get excited about this. And then I have my little ET go home light to more lighting on it. So
just in case. Just in case.
Let's have some fun.
Just in case there's some nervous moments, right?
Yes, you get them all live.
Yes.
Well, before we start getting into the actual conversation, let's do our coffee cup selfie really quick and get that picture taken. Look at this. Oh, bless. Look at that.
Okay. You see? I love it. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. Okay, let's dive in because I'm excited.
I know. So, Franchetta, our first question for you has to do with really the why. Everybody kind of says it, but can you give us some information about really why is small business certification important? The very fundamentals, right?
The fundamental of why this is important is because it allows a small business to get notice. So the first thing is you have to kind of look at your business and understand where you're going. And then you say, what certifications do I need? Am I a small business? Am I a woman-owned business? Am I African-American business? All these different types of certifications is there to grow your business. It's so important that you understand that. But also it allows you to kind of connect with other contractors. And you can be a subcontractor as well as a contractor. But say, for example, I'm looking for someone, and I'm going to say I am a man, but I'm looking for someone who is a woman-owned business. Well, having your WBE, which is Women Business Enterprise, or WOSB, Woman-Owned Small Business, allows you to subcontract with other big companies. So now you and another person have just connected, and you both now can network to make, a couple of $1 million together. So those certifications allows you to get a couple of $1 million. Not a big deal. If you don't need it, don't get your certs. But also, it helps you in some cases.
You just got me sitting closer.
I know, right? But when you throw out numbers like a couple of $1 million.
That's all. But it's very important because most people, when they get their certifications, they don't use them. And I'm quite sure you're going to ask me another question, so I'm going to hold that nugget. But I will say your certifications are important as a small business, but you need to really look at your business and see where you want it to go to get your certifications.
Well, let's throw out the second question then, because really, one of the questions I think people have then becomes how do you find certifications you're eligible for? How do you know where's the best place to go? Because you've got a bunch of different organizations that will certify you. But what's valid? What's beneficial? How do you determine the best ones that are for you?
That's a great question. First of all, you need to first sit down and look at your company. Look at who you have in your company, because whoever you go, whatever certification you go after, that person needs to be the 51%. So, for
Okay.
example, my husband and I could work together. He's a retired military army, and say he wants to come on board, and now we want to make this a disabled veteran, certification business. That would mean I have to give up my certification as of being the woman-owned small business because I own all of my company. But if I wanted to be where I can get into certain areas because I don't have the DSOVB, I believe, then I would have to give up my 100% and go down to like 49. He has to be the 51%.
Got it. So, how do you determine which of those is more beneficial to your company? Do they give you the same things, or is it really the kind of contracts that you're going after that would determine whether or not you would choose to be certified with your husband on board as a disabled vet versus Franchette Dyer, a women-owned business?
For me, I chose to do it by myself. And that's a choice you have to sit down and kind of make with your partner. For example, you two could go out and get different certifications for your business. About probably, let me see, one, two, at least about 3 or 4 for your business. And then for your separate businesses, you could get those same ones. But you have to know what certifications you want to go after and be very careful because you can end up paying up to $5,000 for certification through other companies. And I'm not knocking other organizations, but some of them, when I first went for my woman business enterprise, it was $1,500 every year. And then when I went to a networking event, a young lady came up to me and she said, well, how did you get your certs? And I told her, and she said, I paid $1,500. That's a lot of money that you have to pay every year. So some of these certs are required for you to renew yearly or every 2 years. It just depends on the certification that you get. But before you do anything, you need to sit down and look at your business plan. Make sure you understand, who do I have on my board? Who do I have working with me? What type of certs can we go after? Do I have someone that's a minority? Do I have someone that's African American? If I don't, do I have people that are women? Because it may be an all men company where you can't go after a woman on small business certification. So you really need to look at who's on your panel, who are you partnering with, and then go after those certifications.
Got it. And so it really comes down to then who's surrounding you in your space for your business, and then also what kind of jobs you actually want to get. And those would be the two main questions you would be asking yourself when you're looking at different certifications.
Well, the catch to certifications is once you get your certifications, they kind of let you know your NAC codes. And your NAC codes tell you what you're going to be going after because you're going to tell them what type of business you are. And then when you get your certifications, then they give you NAC codes. And your NAC codes kind of tells them what your business is qualified to do. Then you can go after those types of bids.
Got it. Okay. So those codes that you're talking about, those are the government codes that provide government contracting opportunities. Just in case anybody that's listening right now is like, oh, what? What codes? Right?
Yes.
So I think a lot of the reasons why small businesses stop at this point is because all of a sudden it feels incredibly overwhelming, right? To go through this process of, do I get just one women-owned business certification? I mean, you listed 2 that you currently have, right? That are different.
Yes, so, I have about 5 of them. I have about 5 different certifications.
So when you go and get those 5 different ones, then what you're saying is they open the door for 5 different new avenues of revenue for your business.
Yes, and also it allows you to understand that most of those certs, the government have money sitting there waiting for you. If you have a WSB, which is a woman-owned small business. If I have a WBE, which is a women business enterprise. All of those are different ones. And you kind of sit back and say, why can't they just give me one cert that covers that? But for some reason they said, no, entrepreneurs, you're going to have to go through a maze. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. No problem. We'll just dig over here and we dig over there. But what you do is you have to look at the certifications that you need. And I have quite a few, but the difference for me is that in different states, those certifications come differently. You can't
Mm.
just get all of them at one time. Certain states, you have to go one by one. So you have to make sure that you reach out to your nearest college that's close to you and go into PTAC or your procurement department and set up a meeting. And those individuals will kind of walk with you one on one. But if you still don't understand it, then you really need to get someone who's going to walk you through it and tell you some of the ins and outs, because just getting your certifications is not the only thing. Once you get them, what are you going to do with them? A lot
Yeah.
of people just get them because they heard everybody else is getting them. That's not the reason you get certifications for a small business. You get certifications to use them to build your finance, to build your network, to build your wealth, and to build your reputation within your community.
That needs to be on a t-shirt,
I know.
Franchetta. Like,
Right?
like
Seriously.
that's so true. No, but this is like, you guys, I've been dying because I'm like, I was going in and out and I was like, oh, she's saying such great amazing things. I think that's so true what you said about, like, you don't just get certified and then that's it, right? You have to
Right.
make a plan to get what you are doing it for. And I remember telling Anna, I was so excited, like my initial, like I got my first certification, like the Millspouse Chamber of Commerce, right? I got
Hmm.
certified and it's my first thing. And I was saying to Anna, like I said, oh, I feel like accomplished that it's worth a certification. And then when I hung up with
Yes.
her, I'm like, now what? Like, I can't just, that I need to do the things with it, right? Like I need
Yes.
to, and I think what you said, though, it is a stepping stone to help me get another certification that's a little bit bigger than the first one,
Hmm.
so that I love what you said about the collaborations with other
Hmm.
people and
Yes.
getting those $1 million, making no $1 billion in the bag kind of
Yes.
business opportunities. So
Yeah.
that's so smart. I
Well,
hope
I
people
think
realize.
yeah, I think it's important again for anyone that's listening or watching this show right now that hasn't really looked into this a lot. I think it's important to let them know that there is money that the government has set aside for very specific groupings of people. And it's
Yes.
only when you get certified under that specific group that that money is opened up and available to you as a business owner. And even if you may qualify, if you don't have that certification, you don't get it, right? You
No,
can't
no,
access it.
Yeah.
correct. Because if you go for a bid, 9 times out of 10, okay, let's be honest, 100% out the time,
Yeah.
it's going to
Right.
ask you, are you certified?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to
Yeah.
ask you who you are certified by.
Yeah.
Those are two things. So when you're going for these bids, every
Yeah.
bid I've went to get or applied for, that's the
Mhm.
first thing that they ask you. Somewhere in the questionnaire, they're going to ask you that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
And
have to be able to answer them. And or else you have to network with
Yeah.
someone and then say, hey, I could be a subcontractor because you have all the certs that I need. But sometimes you have to have the certs as well. It's not just
Yeah.
the subcontractor that works with you. They have to have some things too, because if they're the main contractor, they have to
Yeah.
do the majority of the work. So it's
yeah,
very important. Just don't network or connect with just
Yeah.
anyone.
yeah. I think another thing to point out,
Right.
I do a lot of subcontract work with bigger companies,
Mhm.
and one of the things that one of the reasons for certification for me is that they said, "Listen, we're specifically looking for subcontractors with these certifications because our contract requires X% of our workforce to fall in this lane." And so
Yeah.
that's super helpful for people that can get certified under whatever designation it is that you're going for, right? Because there
Yes.
are some of these big contract jobs that are millions and millions of dollars. They are required to find people certified under certain designations. And if
Yes.
you're out there going, I'm good at what I do and I have my certification, then there's a high chance that you can be brought on as a subcontractor to some of these large jobs, which is
Yes.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes. So
So we're talking about
it's
money, rolling in
yes,
the
it's
money.
It's a lot of money, and it's a different process because you need to be in SAMS.gov, and that's a whole different beast. But you have to start there first. And most of the time, when you get to your PTAC, you need to already be in SAMS.gov. Let me just help you out. You need to be in SAMS.gov before you even start talking to your PTAC, because they're going to ask you, are you in SAMS.gov? And I'm going to throw out some terminology you may not know. You can reach out to me. We want to know that cage number. You don't have a cage number, we can't talk to you because you're not in SAMS.gov. So let's just be honest. They're going to push that out and you're going to get frustrated. But if you take your time and go and do the proper steps, and once you're finished with your certifications, they also, well, I don't know every state, but here they let you know people and organizations that are looking for your certs. Then you have to then you have to be a vendor. So certifications don't stop at, oh, I got my certs. Hey, I can get $1 million. No, you have to be accountable. You have to then do other steps to get after you get your certification. So certification is not just a 1, 2, 3. It's from A and a whole lot of other alphabets to Z.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't just think
This
it's just,
is
oh,
why
I got
you
it.
need.
That's it.
Yeah. This is why they need somebody like you, Franchetta. Like, there are so many things you just said that I was like, this is why you need to hire somebody like you to guide them through the proper steps. Because you probably will save them like a whole nother row of alphabets, right? Because they're going to get lost and you're going to keep everybody on track. I'm already like, okay, yeah, we're definitely connecting more after this, because I think there was so much I did not know. So much I did not know.
So I think one thing also, if you've ever wanted to go for a government grant to help support your business as well, all that SAMS.gov and that cage number stuff, you're going to need to know that anyhow. So, and then anyway, there's just so much to it, but it is important to understand. The nice thing is that there are people like Franchetta that can help guide you through that process. And ultimately, I think that almost like the final word though is, if you take the time and you spend the energy, even if you have to pay out this money to get there, in the end, with a business plan in place where you're going to utilize that certification, it makes sense because you're going to financially bring back everything you've paid out and then some because of that effort that you put into it. Which I think is a big deal, right? People are like, oh, especially small business owners and entrepreneurs, right? They bootstrap quite a lot. So then they start looking at a $1,500 a year plus the extra that it takes to go through the process. And all of a sudden it's like, that's a lot of money to spend on something that I don't know will necessarily bring benefit to me. Right.
Yeah.
Well, Franchetta, I hadn't even thought about it. Like, so a nonprofit that could be run by all military spouses, a woman-owned nonprofit, they would benefit from being certified to help them get grants. I mean, I didn't even think it in that way until Anna mentioned it. So that is something that, would you encourage nonprofits to look at that to help them? I mean, like you said, if it's with the business goals, right?
Yes, it's with the business goals, because I'm not experienced in the nonprofit side, but I would think if you're a nonprofit and you're all women and you're diverse, you have probably about 4 or 5 certifications you can get. And so that's going to open up doors, because with that, again, when you get your certifications, please don't get them and sit on your butt. Let me be very frank. I'm not going to do the gray. I don't do gray well.
No,
if you're not going to do the certifications, don't do certifications if you're not going to do the work. Your WOSB takes about 90 days to get approved. And within those 90 days, if you make a mistake, they're going to kick back the whole packet and you start back over again. And you don't know where you're going to be at in the queue. By the time you get your WOSB, you have to remember it's going to take 90 days. So you have to look at that certification and say, do I really want it? Because like right now, I need to start putting in, because it's going to take 90 days before the date to expire. So whatever you do with these certifications, 1, would it bring me profit? 2, would it allow people to see who I am in the community? 3, can I be a subcontractor under someone? 4, do I have what it takes to fulfill a bid once I get these certifications? I'm a one-woman shop. And my first year, I actually, I won a bid, quite huge bid, in the millions to be exact.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay,
Wow.
but hold the
Yeah.
applause. Hold the
Yeah.
applause.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the
Okay.
great side of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they don't use you, you don't get the money.
Mm.
But if you look me
Mm.
up, I'm still eligible to
Yeah.
2025. So that's
Got
what I'm
it.
saying. Some bids you can
Yeah.
win with those certs, but if they don't use you,
Yeah.
you won the bid. So I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
the pros and the cons of it, but it's more
Yeah.
pros to me than there are cons, because if you get the right people and you start to say, okay, let's start working together, let's go after this. Some people may say, well, I'll write the bid, I'll do this part of the bid, you have the certs, we don't really have to go after the certs, so we're going to teach you other things. You can
Yeah.
negotiate to the point that you then have a new team that you never thought about. You all can go after bids. Bids drop in my inbox
Yeah.
every day for content, for janitorial, for
Yeah.
architect. I get bids every day just dropping in my mailbox from all over the world.
Oh
If
So
I
my
when
know
gosh.
someone who needs it, I can send it to
Yeah.
them and say, hey, check this out.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm a little confused. So if you win a bid, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be doing the work, is what you're saying?
It just depends on the circumstances.
Right.
Like for me, and I'm
Yeah.
using me, for example, they didn't really
Yeah.
use us, because sometimes you can win a bid and then it depends on how they bid, that you win with them, but then they don't win the bid.
Oh,
So
oh, oh,
you
you're saying
always,
when you
yes,
partner with someone.
Got
yes.
it.
So you really have to
Yeah.
look at it. But when you
Yeah.
win those bids, normally you have to make sure everything is in place. So it's not just your certifications. Make
Yeah.
sure you have everything in place to do the bid that you are applying for with this certification. Because if you don't, that's your reputation.
Yeah.
That's your reputation. So if you
Yeah.
know for a fact you can't do it,
Yeah.
I'm a one-woman shop. So I'm always looking to be a subcontractor. Even if it's small, I'm
Yeah.
looking to subcontract and learn from someone who's already have done contracting.
Got it.
But my certifications can
Got it.
help them, because I got certifications that
Yeah.
they couldn't get, but I have.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's important that you look at how you're going to connect with the people. How am I going to use my certifications? And do I
Yeah.
really need these certifications? You have
Yeah.
to really think about these things. So
I love
yes.
those 4 questions that you asked. I mean, I can't roll
Yes.
them back off my brain right now, but I'm going to go back and read this and
Yeah.
or listen to this show again. I'm going to pull those 4 questions that you pulled out and I'm going to stick it on this blog that we're going to share with people a little bit later that has
Yeah.
your download available on it, because I think those 4 questions really are kind of the key to, should I go for this? Is this something
Yeah.
that's going to be of value to my small business? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's
So,
Yeah.
really important.
And
Yes.
yeah. And are they able to? Are they able to? Um. You know. Are they able to handle the bid once it gets to them? Right. Because that could look bad
Yes.
on you if you don't. Right. I'm
Yes.
just
So
gonna
you have to look at
boot
the
this.
scope.
Yeah. No. No. That totally makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. The certifications are great, but you got to pick and choose what you really can do and say, hey, this is what I'm going to charge you for this amount.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So now that we've
Yeah.
now that we have kind of like discussed the different certifications and what options and thrown out a lot of language, and people are probably like, I have no idea what I'm doing yet at this point.
Yeah.
Know that it's not all, it's not all
Yeah.
crazy. So let's ask our next question to Franchetta, which is, how can you prepare your business in advance when you're starting to think about this? So if I'm like, okay, in 2023, I'm going to go for this certification and this certification, what do I need to be doing now, 6 months in advance, in order to make myself ready to go in 2023 for that process?
The first thing I would say is you need to look at your partnership, because you have to look at that first, because that's going to make a difference in the certification that you're going to go after. That's the first thing. If it's our women, if it's men and women, what do each one bring to the table? Because if that's the case, you can go after some certs, they can go after some certs, and then you have all your certs you need. So you have to really look at who do you have sitting at the table, so to speak. Who is at your table? Once you figure that out, then you go and you apply for the certification. But prior to that, of course, your business plan and all those things, because your business plan is going to kind of lead you to what you're going to be
Makes
doing.
sense.
Because once you figure that out, then you need to kind of figure out the certifications and what do I do? Because when you send in all this information to them, they're going to decide this is where your company falls under.
Yeah.
Does it fall under resume writing? Does it fall under certifications for small businesses? I'm just throwing out some examples, but they're going to put those NAT codes, which is nothing more than your identification of what your business does. Then they're going to have those certain NAT codes sitting there for you. And those are the ones that you can go after. Then you know, okay, anyone looking for admin assistant, administrative management, which is a number one NAT code that I have that government is looking for. So you have to look at this and see how they have actually identified you. And then from there,
Yeah.
you kind of know what bids to go for.
If we back up just a little bit, like if you're a sole proprietor, or and not an LLC, does it matter? I mean, I'm assuming that part of this is you have to be registered. Your business has to be registered. You can't just be fly by the seat of your pants out of your house kind of business owner, right? And then do you can be a sole proprietor, or do you have to be at like an LLC or something else?
I'm an LLC, but I'm also a sole proprietor. So before you do anything, you got to make sure that your name is legitimate, that you have your IN number. Once you get all of that, then you're ready to start. But you can't just say, oh, I'm Vetech Business Services, and you haven't checked to see if your name is valid in the state that you live in, because they're going to ask certain questions that you're going to have to give them before they give you your certifications.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you can't just say, oh, I want to get certifications. Because I had a person come to me, she was like, I'm ready. I said, do you have sam.gov? Do you have sba.gov that you went out there from the IRS.com, I believe, and you can check for your name? You got your IN number? She was like, I don't need sam.gov. I said, you need sam.gov. No, I don't. Yes, you do. And we went back and forth, and then she Googled it as she was talking to me. She was like, no one ever told me that. I said, I just told you that, my friend. We need to go and do sams.gov. So you have to have everything established. You have to be established. You can't just be out there saying, I want to do this. You need to be established with the IN number, your name, registered, and things of that nature.
Yeah. And then what about your business finances? What kind of things need to be in order as far as good bookkeeping, having paid your taxes, be up to date on all of that? I mean, all of that's got to be squared away before you're going to go after some sort of certification, correct?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really, because for me, I had just started out, but as a small business, since you brought that up, Anna, I will say this. Make sure that you have two separate accounts, one for your business and one personal. I prefer to have a business account at one bank and my personal at another, because sometimes you get to start moving around and you can move money from here to there, and you will look at and you won't have any money in your business account. So me personally, I have my personal account in one bank and my business account in another. I can't transfer no money at all. So that would be me, but it's up to you. Once you have that, you always want to make sure that your finances are in place and that you are paying your bills on time. That has nothing to do with certifications. That has something to do with good small business etiquette. You need to have that stuff done prior to anything that you do, because if you don't, then you're chasing bids that you cannot do. You're trying to get certs just to get a bid, to pay a bill, to put in your bank account, which you're probably going to end up having a bad reputation. So even though having a bank account doesn't matter, it does, because it kind of trickles down with everything. It kind of put A, B, C, D. Remember, A through Z? It's a lot of stuff in between A through Z that you have to do. along with getting your certifications. It's
Yeah.
a it's a bigger picture
Yeah.
than just, go out there and get your certs.
Yeah. So
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say the third thing you just brought up was going to be my third kind of like sub question, which is creating that presence of who you are. And you said if you show up and you can't fulfill your contract, now you're going to get a bad reputation, right? I mean,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so is there an opportunity before you're certified to start networking with the people that you are interested in maybe partnering with or working on bids with or proposing under or something along those lines? Like, is this an opportunity where you need to be jumping on LinkedIn and finding some of those big companies that are working on those government bids? Because you can see who's winning the
Yes.
bids.
Oh,
I mean, it's
yes.
not a secret.
No.
Anybody and everyone can go on and look at the companies. So
Yes.
should you be doing that in advance as well?
I would do my homework. Always do your homework.
Mhm.
It's no difference than when you're going to interview with the company.
Yeah.
Do your
Yeah.
homework. Look at what they have. Okay. Just don't run behind them. Look at the knack codes. You got to kind of see, do we have similarities? If we do, that's great. But if we don't, do not waste their time, because believe me, if they're making millions and billions of dollars, they don't mind you coming on board if you have something to say. And you can't just say, hey, Anna, hey, Selena, I want to meet up with you all. I got to have something else. I have to bring something to the table. Hey,
Yeah.
Selena and Anna, I know that you do ABC. I need help with that. But I also can do this. Can we talk about something? Can we negotiate some things? You have to bring something to the table. You just don't go up and be like, oh, USAA, they got a contract. Think, I would like for you to know. You have to learn how to network. You have to go to matchmaking events. Here in San Antonio, they have matchmaking events. That's where you go. You have your capability statement. And ladies and gentlemen, please have your capability statement along with
Okay.
that digital business card with that cage number on it. I learned the hard way, and I'll tell a story very quickly. I went out to my first matchmaking. I had this red card with Vetech on it. I thought I was doing good. People was asking me, hey, what's your cage number? Never heard of it, but here's my business card. And they had two stacks there. One stack was really small and one stack was really big. And my card was in the big stack. And then I took off my colored rose glasses and put my analytical hat on and realized that the big stack was the stack that when you turned your back, that was going to go in the garbage. And the small stack was something that was important. And I say that because I know that we go digital with everything that we do, but this is my business card. It's very clean. You probably can't see it well, but I'm just giving you an example. It's clean. And I don't mind sharing, but on the back, my NAT codes, my certifications, my DUNS number, my cage number. When they talk to me, I don't have to be like, oh, I'm Franchette Dyer. I give them my card, they flip the back, and they said, oh, have a seat. You have one of my NAT codes. Let's talk.
Okay.
That's the difference than the first time when
Dang.
I
Okay.
came.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just little things that I pick up, and I don't mind giving you tips, but if you're not going to use them, then I'm okay
Yeah.
with it. But that's millions of dollars that you possibly could have. Can't
Yeah.
guarantee it, but you possibly could have with other people. And the conversation became different than the
Yeah.
first time with the red card and nothing on the back, because I thought I'm
Yeah.
a military spouse. They looked at that card like, no, but your card
Right.
need to be clean,
Yeah.
digital or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It needs to be clean. But when they turned over, I didn't have to interview
Yeah.
anymore.
And stuff.
They looked at the back of my card and asked me to have a seat at their table, even though I
Yeah.
always take my own table and chair. They had the seat at their table.
So
It's
I mean,
important to know.
you showed your value
I
right
feel.
from the start.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel sorry for anybody that doesn't take your tips. I mean, like, seriously, the gold that you're sharing with others, like, how could they even say, no, I think Franchetta doesn't know what she's talking about? Like, I would be like, you all are crazy. This woman is gold. Like,
I know.
seriously.
Well, and
I'm more pumped up now about this. And like, I am so excited about this, and I'm serious about continuing the conversation after with Franchetta, because I know that definitely, you fired me up more, and I can see where this can take me and Anna. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's giving me a goal that's not been really on our plate, Anna.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that I know that I have written so many proposals for other companies, right? And I know the process, and I know that it's daunting, and I know that that's one of the reasons people will often give up halfway through. But I feel inspired by this conversation. Like, if you stick with it, there is opportunity at the end. Right?
Yes.
You go through all the pain and all the drama of having to get certified and learning this language that Franchetta is speaking to us today, whether you understand it now or not.
Yeah.
If you take the time to do that, there's value at the end that is going to grow your business profitability. And I think that's kind of like the big message, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's exciting because you have a lot of people struggling right now to find the next client. You know, we talk about that all the time. Find that next client. Wouldn't it be great if they were coming to you because you were certified in an area that they needed support in? Right.
Yes.
And that's they're asking you to come on board for them, as opposed to you having to always do the rat race of going out to get the clients, you know? So, okay, this has been fantastic. We are we're already 40 minutes, which is crazy.
It has been. I know. I want to say one thing. Franchetta just gave everybody another pond to fish in. Yeah. If you all can hear that. I know my internet is spotty. But another pond that we can all fish in. That's what Franchetta just gave us. Yeah. Yes. Oh, so good. Okay. I'm gonna pop on. I think we're gonna move on, but we're gonna have Franchetta show you. We'll tell you where you can find her. Let's see. Let's see if it comes up, Anna.
Okay.
Oh wait, here we go. There we go.
Hooray! Franchetta, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you if they want to connect with you for more information about this?
You can find me at www.vettechbusiness.com. You can reach me on Instagram at Vetech Business and LinkedIn, Franchette Dyer. But I hope that I've helped some small businesses. Thank you for letting me be on here. And just remember, your certifications is the gateway to growing your business and networking it. But it's up to you to make that first move. And the most important word I want to leave with them is accountability. Think about that word before you even start doing your certifications. Accountability.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So true.
Thank you.
I could sit and Yes. No. 10 million
feel like
times.
We're definitely going to have some more conversations about this. I mean, clearly.
Yes. Okay. So Anna, I'm going to shift over. Franchetta has been so gracious. She actually shared something with Anna and I that we can share as our toolkit. I'll let Anna read it just because I'm a little laggy, but Anna and Franchetta will talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to drop the link to this blog in the comments, but Franchetta put together this freebie about the why, the who, and the how for getting certifications for your small business. And she's dropped some links on there, and she's got some information on there that will allow you to start investigating this process and really kind of get to know, what it is that you're doing. So if you would like this download, like I mentioned, I'm going to drop it right now in the comments. You can go ahead and pull the information from, it's on a blog on the Anna and Selena website. You can just download it from there. And then we highly, highly recommend that you then go and connect with Franchetta. Once you have this, connect with her to find out those next steps and how she can support that goal for you. So Franchetta, is there anything else that you would add to this that I have, that I've said?
No, that's it. I meant just go and get those certifications so that you can better yourself and better your company.
Yeah, exactly. That was weird. That was like a double echo. I don't know what's going on. There's some weird things going on here today.
It's because I'm in Tennessee. You know what I mean?
It's Tennessee. Anybody in Tennessee? Is this what happens when you go to that state? I'm just kidding. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to move on, just kind of finish out our show before we say goodbye to everyone. We do want to share our toolkit. We have a toolkit today from Joanna Linares, who is a bookkeeping professional, and she wants everyone to know that you do not need an LLC to write off business expenses on your tax return. You don't have to be an LLC. What you do need, though, is good bookkeeping. So if you're looking for good bookkeeping support, go and find Enumerista, which is Joanna's company, and check her out. She can help support you in that area. And then finally, we just want to say thank you to everyone. This was our first show of season 9. That's amazing. I know. Franchetta, thank you so much for being our first guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you were amazing.
Seriously, so much good information. Half of it I didn't fully understand, but it's got my wheels turning, right? A lot of words I'm going to have to write down in my vocabulary list. And I've been through this process before. So anyway. All right. So next week, we're going to bring on Becky Daniels, who is with Daniels Business Solutions. And Becky is a mastermind at helping you tell your story using the numbers from your business. So whether they're big or they're small, she is the master of winding that into a story that shares your business, who you are, and why you're so good at what you do. So join us next week for our chat with Becky. We want to just say thank you for joining us today. Franchetta, again, thank you so much. We were so excited to have you on our show today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Selena, have fun in Tennessee. And to everyone else, we're just going to go ahead and say goodbye. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, Franchetta.